I recently auditioned for Disney's Mary Poppins at LifeHouse Theater here in Redlands, California. I get so nervous every single time I audition. It's terrible. As I was talking to my fellow auditioners this time, though, it became clear that I am not alone. So this week I had the privilege of interviewing founder and president of LifeHouse Theater, Mr. Wayne Scott, who sees hundreds of auditions every year, and he was willing to share some really great tips with all of you, and I'm going to pass those on. I'm so excited. Since you're the expert, what are a few tips for auditioners to have their best audition?
Well, thank you for asking and for having me. That is a great question. I wish more people would ask that because I think a lot of people make assumptions about auditions and what they should sing. And I always say, simple done well is the best way to go. And so take something that's familiar, that would be known to most people. A Disney song, a Broadway standard, those are the best. Anything by Rodgers and Hammerstein or Lerner and Lowe, they're easily accessible. Those are the kinds of songs you want to sing. What you want to avoid are things that are not as familiar to the pianist or to the judges, because then we can't tell whether you've hit it or not. We encourage you to sing things that are not only familiar, but they're especially not too pop, not too new, not too faddish. Things from recent movies generally are not good because they're unfamiliar to most people, especially the pianist, who's not going to put you in the best light if they're not familiar with it. And you have to realize too that Broadway productions are new, or movies are considered new, movie music, for 5 years before they finally become accepted into the public and more familiar. Sure, people will hum it if it's from Frozen or something like that, but the sheet music and the familiarity among judges and others, it takes a while for that to catch on.
Is it a good idea to sing a song from the show you're auditioning for?
Yes, that's always a good idea. It's not required. It would still be better for you to master and know really well what you're singing. If it's not from the production, that's fine. The best thing to do is to make an effort to make sure you look and sound good, that you're confident, that you're memorized, that you know it forwards and backwards, because that's what we're looking for in the actual production itself. We don't need stylized, fancy, embellished kinds of frothy music. We're just looking for, we'd rather hear the alphabet song or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or Happy Birthday sung superbly well than the most complicated aria from opera.
What should you do if you mess up during your audition?
Oh, hey, that happens to all of us. And so you can just start over. You can say, may I start over? We love to give people second, third chances and try to make it very friendly. So that's not a problem.
We have a drama coming up.
Yes.
The next audition is for a drama. What would you suggest for monologues?
Well, again, I think 30 seconds done super well that shows not only that you can memorize well, but present with a good projection, a good voice quality, enunciation, clarity. That would be important than a 2-minute Shakespearean something or other that we don't understand or sounds mushy or that you keep forgetting. So less is more, usually. There are books for monologues. There are 1-minute monologue books in most bookstores. I guess when I say most bookstores, it would be Barnes & Noble these days. And I see them all the time. I visit that section. But you can go on the internet, I'm sure, and find some cuttings. You can take classic works of literature, like, say, a passage from Little Women or anything by Dickens, or something from Anne of Green Gables. If you're a girl, you might want to take one of her little monologues. It doesn't have to be that long. Just make it sharp, short and sweet, and we'll appreciate it.
And then, so for Mary Poppins, there's a British accent required. So if there's a show that you're auditioning for that they have an accent, mm-hmm. Do you recommend people trying to put that accent into their audition?
If you feel comfortable doing it. We don't usually require that because that can really put people on the spot. What matters is that you do it well, and that when we come to orientation, once you're cast, we're all in the same boat together. So everyone will get some reference on either CD or digitally where you can learn the various nuances of accents. And we'll be doing that for Mary Poppins. We'll be having some dialect coaching of some kind, either through a reference digitally or something on Dropbox that everyone can reference and kind of get the nuances. And the key to accents is usually learning that particular accent's vowels. If you can master the vowels, you generally can have a command of most of the words. We know this is hard. We know people are nervous. We're on your side. We want you to do well. We'll give you chances. We want you to be comfortable. We really want you to do well, because if I had my way, we'd cast everybody, but of course we can't. And you know, that's part of life too. It's part of life's lessons that sometimes it takes 3 or 4 times to finally get in. And I remember several people who've actually tried 9 or 10 or 12 times before they've actually gotten in. And I admire those people. I actually look for them to improve and hope that we can get them in. So just do your best. We're on your side. Pray before you audition, and we'll just trust that our sovereign God will do the rest.
Wow, those were some really great tips. I had no idea that music was new for 5 whole years after we first hear it, and I didn't know that you could start your audition over again. I have been doing it wrong this whole entire time. Thank you so much to Mr. Wayne Scott for sharing all those things with us. There's also more information that you can get about auditions as well as LifeHouse Theater's lineup at lifehousetheater.com. I encourage you to check that out. Maybe buy some tickets for the upcoming productions while you're there. Also, I would love to hear from our viewers. If you have thoughts, go ahead and leave those in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you could like and subscribe to our channel, that would be super great. And you'll be sure to find out if I got into Mary Poppins.